Okay, here's my presentation. My game was going to be like a tower defense game created by me. Alright, so we've been assigned to make a game. So, what is the problem? Well, according to Wikipedia, a game is a structured form of play, usually undertaken for entertainment or fun, and sometimes used as an educational tool. So, my main question in this case was how can I make a game that is fun and engaging? Why is it a problem? Well, I really want to focus on the problem because nowadays games tend to struggle to keep players playing, and I want to try my best to accomplish this. So I want to have better retention for my game, and I want to make it fun. So the problem requirements are that the map that we made should be used in some way. It should be made with a game engine. It's playable, fun, and easy to understand. It has all standard STEM presentation elements, and we need to create 2 artifacts that relate to our game. Okay, so I had a few ideas. I had a city building game, a first-person shooter, or a tower defense game. I actually chose a tower defense game. And I wanted to add my own twist to it, so the player should be able to navigate around the map with a 3D camera and be able to be free in their strategies. But one thing I want to keep in mind is to try not ignore the harder problems to solve, such as storing player data and working with advanced math concepts. So some ideal features were playable levels, easy to use cameras, towers, easy to use camera, towers, enemies, story, world map, money, and point system, and to store player data. Some optional features were a clean, simple GUI, sound effects, music, and a tutorial. So how will I create the tutorial as a design solution? I will be making the game inside of Roblox because I'm familiar with how it works. It will be a tower defense game with a unique twist. The game will be fun and playable. I will incorporate my map into the game, making it the world map that the game takes place on, and I will test my skills by incorporating more advanced code to make the game more complete. Here's my original map, and I made it at the beginning of the year. So here are some flowcharts I made for how I wanted the game to flow. So when it starts, the player chooses a level, and a global variable, that's what underscore G means, is set to the selected level, so it can be referenced in the future. The player chooses the difficulty. Depending on how they choose it, the game starts. And then once the game starts, the player places towers. A wave starts, wave ends, and player makes money. And then it keeps on going unless it's the last wave. And if it's the last wave, it ends. So when the player ends the game, it checks if this is first completion of the level. If it is, then they get a medal, and the next level is unlocked, and if not, they just earn a medal. Alright, how do I incorporate my map? Well, the central hub of my game is in the form of world map. I modeled it in Blender through a reference image, and I imported it into Roblox. So you can see on the side what it looked like in Blender and what it looked like in Roblox. Those little dots right there are the levels. To navigate through the game, the player uses simple and responsive GUI, and the buttons interact with the server through remote events. Remote events is a relatively simple concept. As long as you understand what a client and a server is, it's basically meant to communicate between those, and it makes the game, you can make things interact a lot more. So here's part of the gameplay with the cameras. So in this case, there's 2 cameras in the game. There's a map camera and a game camera. So the map camera is like the world map camera, like the main. It's what you see whenever you open the game. And the way I did it, I'm not going to explain this map because honestly, it kind of goes over my head as well. But basically, you have a camera going in a circle, pointing down at a specific point in the ground. In that case, that would be the island. It's like the center point of the island, and it's just rotating around. Every tick, a small amount of degrees is added to it, and so it's just constantly rotating around and rotating around. As for the game camera, the code is a bit complex, so I didn't want to post it here, but and I was only able to get the camera to respond to forward and backwards inputs and only move in those directions. So that does actually work relatively well. It's a little bit finicky, but it does work. But for some reason, I just could not figure out how to get to move side to side. I was trying to make a camera from scratch, and I probably should have used like the default camera and somehow manipulated that. But that's what I chose to do anyway. Okay, so finally, just some basic tower defense mechanics. So unfortunately, I actually didn't manage to make much progress in the actual game. I did some basic elements, including simple enemies, pathfinding, and a functional tower/bullet system, but there is no score or level progression. So I took a screenshot of it in progress on the side here. It does actually work. Like the tower thing in the middle does shoot bullets at the little enemies, but that's about as far as I got. There's the debug chart you can see. So I got the towers figured out. It is a little bit janky, but it does work. The enemies have a pathfinding thing, and it's not like actual path AI pathfinding. It's like it follows a path. It goes to a point, and once it's at that point, then it goes to another point, and so on until it reaches the end. However, when it comes to scoring money and progression, which is pretty important in the game, the economy is one of the main parts of a tower defense game. I guess I just was never able to implement it. I didn't find the time. I probably could have done it, but in the evaluate solution here, I explain that more. So how do I really feel about my game? I wasn't very happy with the final result. I struggled a lot with procrastination, demotivation, distractions. I did put a lot of effort into the features that I did finish, and I also got good feedback on what I was able to finish. In the end, I need to scale down my end goals for sure. That's something I've always struggled with. Another thing I really struggle with, I probably should put this at the top, is put functionality over aesthetics. I obsess too much about how the game looks, and I realize I need to focus more on the code and the game actually working. I need to enjoy the process as well. Towards the end, I felt like I was really dragging on. I need to make sure I am enjoying what I'm doing. And in the future, I might use something more advanced than Roblox or just less finicky, because Roblox is it's simple, but it's not very capable. It's not, you can do cool things with it, but it's not as capable as some other choices that I want to maybe consider in the future. But yeah, that's my presentation. Hopefully this is a good. Hopefully it's all good. Maybe I could add some more things, so I guess we'll see how it goes. And I do need to get my journals turned in, so I'm gonna do that this week. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.